Hello, my soul friends, and welcome to your tarot reading. My name is Emery, and we are going to figure out what your person wants to say or what they're thinking about you. And this person, if you're in a relationship, it is your romantic partner. And if you're single, it could be someone you have a crush on, or it could be your soulmate who is coming your way. So, to figure out what your message is going to be, all you need to do is pick one of these three piles. And to help you make that decision, there are three different images. Whichever image, whichever animal strikes your intuition the most, that is going to be your pile and your tarot reading. So the first pile is a giraffe. The second pile is a whale. And the third pile is a hedgehog. So whichever animal struck your intuition the most, that is your pile. To go to your reading, all you need to do is go into the description or comments of this video and click the timestamp, or you can scroll on the time bar of the video to your section. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello, pile one, my wonderful giraffe pile. Welcome to your tarot reading. We are going to figure out what your person has to say to you, and we're going to start with the central theme of your reading, which is this card. Only time will tell. This indicates that your person wants you to know that your relationship is a little bit uncertain. It seems as if your free will or their free will may be interfering with the long-term commitment of this relationship. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad card. You may think by seeing only time will tell that this means your relationship is going to end. That's not the case. What this card is really saying, and what your person is really saying for you, is that if both of you put effort in, then this relationship will last. And since this person is saying only time will tell, it indicates that they do have an optimistic view of the relationship. It'll just take both of you participating in that ideal, participating in that dream, and making it manifest. So this is a good card. There are just some conditions or things that you need to look out for, so let's see what those are. Now, your first tarot card in the spread is the Eight of Wands. One of the reasons why only time will tell is that a lot of things are going to be happening, and they're going to be happening quickly. This is a card of things happening quickly. It may be a little bit exhausting. It may be a little bit too fast-paced. And with this card, it could mean a number of things. One of the things it could mean is that the relationship moves too quickly. A lot of things are happening in your environment. And in this case, the idea of only time will tell is telling you that you need to slow things down. You need to let things happen at a natural pace. So the best thing you can do for this relationship is to slow things down, to put the deadline for certain things that you are trying to create a little bit further down the road. So, for example, let's say you are engaged to be married and you want to have your wedding 3 months from now. However, you can't really afford it, or there are reasons the wedding keeps getting delayed and you're trying to push to make it happen. This is when you need to accept the universe telling you that too much is going on for this event to take place. So if you are getting signs that things are happening too quickly, heed that message from the universe and slow things down. Now, your second card, this is a great card. This is the King of Disc card. Now, this could represent you if you are the more masculine energy in this relationship, or it could represent the other person. But what I am seeing with this card is that someone is very invested in this relationship. Someone wants this relationship to have a tangible manifestation, a legacy, just all those wonderful things. So someone is definitely very committed here. Someone not only wants the relationship to succeed emotionally, they want the relationship to have strong physical ties. So this could mean like a legal contract, like a marriage contract. It could mean buying a house together. It could mean inheritance. It could mean any of those physical things. It could also mean, for some of you, good health. Someone who hasn't been taking care of their health before may really focus on improving their health going forward. So really, really good sign. At least one half of the partnership is very, very invested. And for most of you, I think this is going to be your person rather than you. But this is a good sign. This is indicating that this person wants the best for this relationship and they are going to put in the work. Now, the second card here, the third tarot card, I'm sorry, is the Death card. This is about a stop. This is about like a terminal end, but a terminal end that then has a new beginning. It's about rebirth, rejuvenation, and the only way that can happen is if you accept it happening. And I'm really getting the sense in this spread that this is you. You may have certain ideas about how this relationship is meant to manifest, how this relationship is meant to happen, but these Eight of Wands, all these things happening in the past, all these fast-paced things have changed the condition of your relationship. And because of that, it has ended what you dreamed of this relationship being, and it's transformed into something else. So for this relationship to work, you need to be open to that change. You need to be open to being reborn into this new relationship. Now, one thing I do want you to know with this is just because the other person is committed, just because the other person is doing everything right, sometimes when a relationship changes, even for good reasons, maybe it doesn't reflect your ideals, which is why this next card, the Eight of Cups, is so important. This is about leaving things behind. You are going to have to make a decision. Are you going to leave behind your past in order to embrace this new relationship, this new idea of what this relationship is going to be? Or are you going to choose to walk away from this relationship? It's no longer what you wanted it to be, and maybe you have no like negative feelings towards this other person. You may even be attracted to them, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, I don't think this is going to work for me in the long term. So you are going to have to make that decision. Now, the next tarot card is a wonderfully positive card. It is really, really good news, whichever decision you make. The Ace of Cups is about starting something new, like a new relationship, a new life path, being very emotionally fulfilled by whatever you start, being very inspired at a soul level. And this indicates that whatever decision you make, as long as you make it sincerely, as long as you make it willingly, you are going to be happy with that decision. So right now, or if you need time to think about it, whatever feels right to you, know that it is going to turn out well for you in the end. Now, your last tarot card and the last card in your reading is the Nine of Cups. Such a wonderful card. This is a card about having almost everything you want. It is a card of peace, a card of prosperity, but mostly a card of emotional fulfillment. It's being satisfied with what you have, and maybe you would like more, but you are satisfied with what you have. So again, I think this is referencing whichever path you decide to take. If you decide to stay in the relationship, you are going to recognize that it is not like the perfect vision you had for yourself before, but it is still a very positive vision. You are very happy with it. And if you decide to walk away, this card could be seen as being alone for a little bit. You may not want to jump into a new relationship right away, but being very satisfied and being able to find fulfillment elsewhere. So pile one, this is a great spread. This is a spread about free will. This is a spread about being truly happy in your relationship. And I think the other person, whatever you decide, they will be okay with it in the end. But what I want you to do, what your person wants you to do, is to not make a hasty decision. Go ahead and continue on in this relationship, or if you're single and you're interested in this person, um, giving the relationship some time to see how it evolves, to see how you feel in the relationship, maybe 3 to 6 months, maybe a year if you've invested like a decade in the relationship already, to see how you feel, with these changes. Because you may be surprised by how you feel at the end of that waiting period and what decision you make. And that is why only time will tell. You need to give this relationship time to be experienced. That way you can make an emotional decision. So, pile one, I want you to make that emotional decision. I want you to truly feel all your feelings. That way you can know where this King of Disc is coming from. So, pile one, go ahead and let me know in the comments how this reading resonated for you, what you're hoping for in your relationships. That way you can figure out what you need to be looking for in this waiting period. So, pile one, if you resonated with this reading, if you liked it, be sure to let me know by liking this video and subscribing for more. You can also look in the description box of this video for links to my socials or to my Ko-Fi to tip me if you really appreciate it. Otherwise, pile one, this is a great reading. I am really excited for you. I just see happiness in love and in life. I hope to see you again. Hello, pile two, my whale pile. I am so excited for you to be here today. Let's figure out what your person wants to say by looking at the most important card in your spread, this heart-shaped pile. And it has the wisdom message of, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time, nothing is missing. So this can mean a few different things depending on your current relationship status. If you are single, this means obviously that you are not currently in a physical relationship with this person, but on a soul level, you are attracted to each other. This really does indicate that this person is a soulmate or even a twin flame, and you are really destined to meet and get together. If you are already in a relationship, then this card signifies that there is something keeping you apart physically. Or emotionally, but in a physical committed sense. Either one of you is far away, perhaps traveling, or you aren't feeling as if you are as intimate as you would like. This could be like an emotional intimacy. It could be simply being physically together, like sexually, or anything to where you feel comfortable in each other's spaces, but there's definitely something separating you. Now, this isn't necessarily like a red flag. It could be that your relationship is naturally evolving in order to get closer, but know that even though you may not be at that point yet, you are definitely going to get there. You are definitely feeling this connection, or at least the other person is. Even if you don't feel it, they feel it, and they are moving in that direction. So your first tarot card, all the other supporting information in this reading about this central card, about this beloved card, your first tarot card is the Star, which is just an amazing card for your first card, for your My Beloved card. The Star is a card of fate. It is a card of optimism, of hope. And this card really indicates that there is a lot of promise for this relationship. There is a lot of divine intervention to try to get you together, to get you closer, whether you are single or in a relationship, to get you more committed. So this could indicate that the universe is going to conspire, is going to use signs and synchronicities. They're going to use fated events to bring you closer together. Now, some of these events could be very positive, they can be very funny, but some of these events could be difficulties. People are often brought closer through struggle. Now, I don't think the universe is going to torture you, but you may find that either the normal tragedies of life that occur that are just going to happen anyway, or the universe will put you into a place where you are more likely to experience struggle and tribulation. That way you can get closer together. Now, the universe is only going to intervene as much as it has to. So if you make it a point to get physically closer to your significant other, the less likely the universe will go to extreme measures, and the more likely you will have something like a meet cute or something that's very positive. So I really want you to have positive, intimate events, right? I don't want you to have to struggle to get closer together. Now, your second tarot card is the Sun. This is a wonderful card. I just got an intuitive download for some of you that this can indicate that you may become pregnant, or that you may adopt a child, something to where you are going to be responsible for another person or even a pet, and that is going to bring you closer together. For those of you who aren't going to be having another child or a child at all or even a pet, this indicates a lot of blissful happiness, a lot of brightness, a lot of interesting, positive optimism. It's the daylight to your relationship. We have the universe's mini stars, and then we have your personal star. So I do sense there is a bit of a free will element here. You are going to figure out how to make this relationship your own, no matter what sort of events happen in the world around you. So you are definitely going to really take ownership of this relationship and of this intimacy. Now, your next tarot card is the Moon. Wow, you have a lot of celestial powers in your spread. It is just intensely strong. So the Moon, it can indicate secrets, routines, things that are hidden. It can be intuition. And specifically with this card, we have the wolf and the dog, and we might want to interpret that as you and your partner. And normally in a card like this, there's something sneaking up behind them. Interestingly, the artist of this tarot card does not show that. So I'm not really sensing that there is something sneaking up on you, but there is something that you are hiding from your partner. There's something your partner is hiding from you. And perhaps that's the reason why you aren't going to be able to get as intimate with each other. If you're in a relationship, it indicates that you aren't fully honest. Sometimes this isn't about like malevolence or being mean. Sometimes someone is shy and they don't know how to be intimate with the other person, or it could indicate that there's something from your past you're really, really ashamed about and you're not certain how this person will react. But I do think that if you or your partner has a secret, the other person can sense that. The other person can sense that something is being withheld. And maybe you're not able to tell the truth right away, or maybe your partner isn't able to tell the truth right away, but you definitely want to have a talk about disclosure. Like, when would you be comfortable disclosing something that makes you uncomfortable? And it is possible, like maybe you aren't completely honest, maybe you don't go into the details, but you give a general description of what happened, or you allude to what happened. So that way your partner or you would know what the secret is, but you understand why the other person can't go into details. So that is something to discuss with your partner. Now, obviously, this is something that's going to require a lot of navigation. So don't expect something like this to happen overnight. Now, your next card is the Ace of Swords. This is a great card. This indicates new decisions. This indicates free will. This indicates really acting. So I am just sensing that there is this desire by this other person to really act for the good of the relationship. Now, because this is an ace card, they may not always have like an expert approach. So be aware that they may stumble a little bit, but there is just a lot of optimism and hope and desire to make things right. So at times, their approach may be a little bit cutting, but understand that this person is doing their best. Now, your next tarot card is the Five of Cups. This is a card of accepting loss. So this can be from both of your ends. And when it comes to accepting loss, it means accepting loss and learning to move on. So I do think that your person recognizes that there's something in this relationship that isn't their ideal, and it does make them sad, but they are working through it. And maybe that is part of the reason why they're holding a secret, and perhaps you're that way too. There's something that isn't perfect and you're a little bit disappointed, but you still want to work through the relationship. And I think it is really, really important for you to understand that no relationship is perfect because everybody has free will. You are going to disappoint your partner, and your partner is going to disappoint you. But you're not looking for the perfect day. You're looking for your relationship on average throughout the lifespan of that relationship. And I have some amazing news for you. Your final card, the Ten of Cups, it is about a culmination of emotional fulfillment. It is about domestic peace, domestic harmony. It's about love. It's an indication that if you have kids or if you are going to move in together, that those are going to be good experiences. And really, pile two, you just have a wonderful spread. I am sensing that this person wants the best for this relationship. They believe it will succeed. They believe that you will have intimacy, like complete intimacy one day. There's just something blocking you right now, and it's something that this person is working on, and I think this person thinks you will also be able to work on. So all the work that is needed to be done to make this relationship succeed, your person believes it will happen, and I think deep down you believe it will happen too. So I want you to stay true to this relationship. If you're single, have optimism when you enter it, and if you are in this relationship already, know that it is a relationship that will last. So pile two, let me know in the comments below, what is one thing that you really hope to experience in this relationship? Especially something simple. Maybe it is like watching Netflix on the evening with your partner. Maybe it's going for a boat ride. Anything small and innocent like that. Something very personal and very enjoyable. So pile two, I am so looking forward to this relationship for you. If this reading helps you at all, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. You can also go into the description of the video for links to my socials or to my Ko-Fi to tip me if you really appreciated it. Anyway, pile two, I can't wait to see you again. I wish the very best for you. Hello, pile three, my hedgehog pile. Welcome to your reading. We are going to go ahead and get started with the most important card in your spread today, which is this heart card. And it has the wisdom message of, deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. So what I want you to do is pause this video and really meditate on your most intense feelings right now. If you're in a relationship, This is going to be the thing that is plaguing your heart. And if you're single, it's going to be what you are most hoping for in a relationship with this person. So once you have that in mind, we're going to go ahead and look at these other cards and just keep that feeling in mind as you hear these other messages. So the first card in your spread, the first tarot card anyway, is the Strength card. This is exactly what you think it is. It is about strength, but specifically it's about strength of character, and it also references Beauty and the Beast. Um, I see you as the beauty in this card, and you're this person as the beast. And I get this overall sense in your spread um, that there is this desire to fix the other person, or that this person is trying to fix you. And with that in mind, I do sense that there is this desire to conquer, there's this desire to claim, and this can be pretty negative at times if this feeling isn't done productively. So, what I am really going to want you to do, and what your other person wants you to do, at least deep in their heart, is figure out, can your desire for what this relationship is and for what you want it to be, can these two things be reconciled without oppressing the other person or trying to control the other person? So your next tarot card explains a little bit about that conflict in detail. It is the Five of Swords. This is a card of winning and losing. This is a card of conflict. This is a card of trying to conquer and be at the top. So um, either you or this person, you are trying to, or perhaps even both of you, are going to desire winning all arguments. And in a relationship, there can't be winners or losers in arguments. There can only be reconciliation. So when an argument happens, it is normal for it to take a little bit of time to cool off and let cooler heads prevail. But eventually, what you want to do with any argument is to not let resentment build and come to a decision together. And I do sense going into this relationship, if you're single or if you're currently in a committed relationship, it is an indication that right now you are struggling with this predicament. You are trying to win, or this person is trying to win, and it is just creating a lot of hurt and pain. Now, the next card represents what you can do to fix that. And I do sense that this relationship, although there are problems, it can actually be reconciled and you can be quite happy. This Strength card is about bringing out the best in a relationship. And I do think this other person believes that this relationship can be really positive and really lovely. So the next card, the Temperance card, this is about moderation. This is about taking an average approach. And what I mean about that is that I do sense there is a flair for drama. There is a sense or desire to exaggerate things. And this usually comes from fantasy feelings. Perhaps you or your person were influenced by media growing up or by cultural programming to want something, and to want a type of relationship that doesn't exist in reality, like the perfect relationship or the perfect partner. But every person has free will, every person is going to act independently. And while it is important, for example, to be united, to take these arguments that you have and reconcile, just like with the Strength card, where one of you is the beauty and one of you is the beast, you are going to have to learn how to compromise. Yes, you're a union, but you're a union of individuals. So you need to figure out how to respect that individuality and compromise. So understand that you and your partner, you're not going to be able to get everything you want. And I do think deep down, your other person recognizes they can't have that, but they may be struggling with acting out that belief. They may still have the tendency to act in ways which oppress you a little. And I think in return, you're probably going to do the same thing. So For some of you, this could be a sign that you need to do therapy, um, especially if the problems are pretty intense. But if you aren't having like any intense problems, maybe you're in a good time in your relationship, or if you're single, this is about doing the preparation work, the preparation work in order to prevent future problems. So you may want to talk about what should you do if you have an argument. Um, how do you cool off? How do you come to decisions? What are you going to do when you disagree? How are you going to come to an agreement? Or does every situation require an agreement? For example, you can't really control what your partner wears, and your partner can't really control what you wear. Um, as long as it's socially appropriate in general, there's really nothing to be said. But when it comes to household spending, that would be something you would both have to agree on. Now, you could probably, for example, give each other allowances to where everyone gets a little bit of money that they can decide to spend on whatever they wish. But in general, like the general house fund, it would need to be decided by both of you. So that is really what I am seeing, is learning how to make decisions and trying to stop those arguments before they even happen. Now, your next card is the King of Swords. This, I think, represents your partner. Usually, in most relationship readings, I do tend to feel that the King of Swords or any king card is the other person. So, this person probably isn't acting um, out of the heart, they're acting out of the mind. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in relationships, it can make you feel as if this person is cold or not considering your feelings. And one thing that you're going to want to do is figure out love languages. So, in addition to figuring out how to argue and how to prevent arguments, you're going to want to figure out how to love and how the other person receives love. So, the different ways you express love are going to help you to understand how this person is acting in love and how this person is acting rationally. So I do think that your partner, this person, is sometimes going to act in ways to where they're going to try to preserve the relationship, but they're going to act in ways to where they don't recognize your need for affection. So if you figure out love languages, then this other person is going to understand that however they may approach things in the cold, logical manner they wish, they also need to soften that with an understanding of your love language. So perhaps if you're a person who feels love through gifts, they're going to understand that they need to give you a gift. Or if you're a person who needs acts of service, they're going to soften their approach by doing something nice for you. So that is something you're going to want to encourage in your partner, is helping them understand what your love language is. And also, you're going to want to understand how they express their love language. It's going to really reduce a lot of the overall conflict in life, and it'll help you understand when you are both acting in love. So the next card is the Three of Cups card. This is a good card in general. It does indicate some uh, like happiness, social harmony, but I do know that sometimes this card can represent uh, like like someone who is cheating. Now, I don't necessarily feel that it's going to be your partner. I'm not generally sensing that this person is a cheater, but I do think that when a relationship is going through a bad patch, when there's like a lot of arguments, I do think your partner may be tempted. They may feel that when someone else is being nice to them, um, that person loves them more. And I think you may also be at risk for that. Or this other person may perceive that you're at risk of doing that. So, one thing that you're going to want to do and want to recognize is that you want each other to be the best person to rely on. You don't want to have to go to someone else for emotional romantic support, and you don't want your partner to go to someone else for emotional and romantic companionship. You're going to want to provide that. You're going to want them to provide that. So recognize at the end of the day, no matter how much you argue with each other, you want to be there for each other, not just financially, but emotionally. So you may want to make it a point not to sleep apart. You may want to make it a point not to go to bed angry, or not to go to bed without kissing each other on the cheek or hugging or whatever. You want to figure out a way to keep expressing your affection for each other, even when there are arguments sometimes, because I do think even though you may believe this other person isn't as emotional as you would like them to be, they still have feelings. And because they're going to act colder than you would like, you may think that they're going to be okay with not expressing love that day when there's an argument. And that is something you want to really push out of your mind. You want to make sure that on a daily basis, you are both doing something for each other to where you show affection, no matter how you feel in general that week. So, your last card today is the Two of Wands. This is a great card. I know it seems as if there's been a lot of tension in this spread, and I think it's just expressing the worries your person has for this relationship, but also that they do have hope that all those problems can be overcome. It just needs to be worked through. Now, this card, the Two of Wands, this is a card of planning. This is a card of looking ahead. This is a card of understanding your environment and working with it. It's also, because it's a two card, a card of partnership, of pairs. And since it is a Wands card, a card of fire and passion. So I do sense when it comes to this relationship what your partner needs, and perhaps it comes from this King of Wands energy, this cold energy, this rational energy. They want to really plan ahead as much as possible to prevent possible conflicts from occurring. And sometimes people think that planning ahead isn't fun. It takes the passion out of the relationship. That's not really true. For example, you may think that all dates should be spontaneous. Well, maybe what you could do is one person plans the date and the other person is surprised and you switch off, but you have a plan to go on so many dates a month or a year, something like that, where you do plan, but you leave room for spontaneity within the plan. So that's what I really want you to work on and do, is planning ahead for this relationship to succeed, because I really think it can succeed. I really think it can actually be a really wonderful relationship. So, pile three, I'm really excited for you. I think you are going to have a relationship that stands the test of time if both of you put in the effort. And I actually do think both of you are willing to put in the effort. So, let me know in the comments what is one of your greatest fears in a relationship? And how do you think that you could overcome that fear in a relationship? So, pile three, if this reading helps you at all, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more. You can also go into the description box of the video for links to my socials, or a link to Ko-Fi to tip if you really appreciated the reading. Pile three, I really look forward to how this relationship is going to bloom into a beautiful and committed romance. I hope to see you again.